Okay, welcome back to The Only Problem. If you're listening to this, I just want to let you know it means that something terrible has happened or not. This is an episode that we're recording at a time that is not our typical recording schedule so that we can have a just in case of emergency or scheduling conflict episode. So this is a bonus episode of The Only Problem. This episode, first off, first order of business, we were talking about Olivia Rodrigo and how much I like the song Deja Vu by
No.
her.
If you
I
love it
really
so
don't.
much, why don't you marry it, Andy?
I kind of wish I could. I feel like I should be more of an Olivia Rodrigo fan, which is maybe something I should keep to myself. But I listened to her new song and it's not that great. She's got a new album on the way though. I don't know. It's just something
Which
about
song
being
is
Gen
that?
Z. The new song that's out.
Mhm.
Oh,
The one that you hate?
I'm not a big fan of this her new
Okay.
song. Or see, like Olivia, not
I can
Olivia
tell you
Dean.
you really you're
Drop
afraid of
Dead.
it sounds
Not a
like
big fan
you're
of Drop
afraid of
Dead.
insulting your princess.
I like Deja Vu and I like Good for You because who doesn't like Good for You? I mean,
Mhm.
that's a classic.
That's quite good.
So
What
this
about
week,
Vampire?
not a big vampire fan.
It's basically just Creep,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Creep is
And then
better.
I was also listening to somebody that I used to know in between our recording of our last episode and this. We were recording this the same night that we recorded our detour episode. It is
Hmm.
approximately 2 hours later than when we typically start recording a podcast. We've already recorded one. So this episode is gonna be insane. Santino, how are you feeling? Check in on me.
I'm
Check
feeling
in with
good.
me.
Hey, how are you feeling? Cool. Now check in with me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. All right. Now you check in
Yeah.
with you.
Uh,
Ask yourself.
hey,
Get
how am
self-reflective.
I? How how am I feeling lately? Oh no! Oh no!
Yes, think deep.
I'm not
Think
feeling
deep.
great. Not feeling
Uh-oh.
great. Uh,
There's our
but that's
therapy
okay.
session for the week, everybody.
So this episode, we thought we'd do something special for you, and we do. We tag team. This is a tag team effort. We're doing an existential and epistemological look at the Bristol stool chart. Is what we decided we'd do.
Yes, our top
It's a
10
little
stools.
it's a little different than what we normally talk about on the show, but I figure,
I had a number 4 today.
number four, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I pooped.
Well, there's your problem.
I like it's not that I don't think I have recently. I just don't know if I remember pulling up four real quick. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good to
it's
know.
a standard. The funny thing is, I know you're gonna cut this bit. Like you're gonna like
I am.
tomorrow or the day after, you're gonna be editing and you're like, I don't know if we should really be talking about duty. And then you're gonna cut it, and then it's just gonna suddenly randomly cut to this.
I
Anyway,
actually I actually think that's the place where it should cut. And they'll be like, wait, what did he cut out that he was talking about duty? So that's perfect. Because we're not talking about duty this week. We're actually talking about the opposite of duty. We're
the
talking about
opposite.
we think are great. We're I mean, duty is great in its own way, right?
You can't have life without duty.
Yeah,
Can't have duty without life.
yeah.
We're
But
really philosophical.
we're doing top 10 uh our top 10 favorite films of all time. We're each giving our top 10. And this is favorite. This is kind of on the show we talk about movies that have our heart. This is, as far as I've been concerned, all movies that have our hearts. Would you say that's correct, Santino?
I would say so.
It's like this is not the objectively best movies we could have come up with. This is our movies that we love and we love talking about. And so we're
It's a
gonna
very subjective list.
it's a very yeah, this is like as subjective as we get. It should be a lot of fun. We're gonna give ourselves each 3 minutes to talk about for both of us to talk
Yeah.
about these movies to make this like a manageable episode length, and I'm sure it'll go off the rails almost immediately.
Hmm.
Santino, who do you want to go first?
You are the younger. You're the Padawan. So, I mean, technically, if we wanted to be fair, I'm gonna die first, so I should probably
We
go
don't know
first.
that for sure. I
But
do
no,
want to
you
make
can go first.
I do want to make a disclaimer.
Mhm.
And maybe you can give me 3 minutes to do this. Is there are no Godzilla films on this list?
I just dropped a. Okay, there we go. It was in my cleavage, and I didn't know what to do about it.
Whew.
Yeah,
But my
Godzilla,
disclaimer,
no Godzillas, huh?
there's no Godzilla films on this list. Simply because Godzilla films for me are like this categorically different thing. Like they definitely do have my heart, but I don't know if you've ever been to my house over to the Matsky home, you know that like we have a
It's
whole
built
room
out
of
of Godzilla.
yeah, we
The
someone has
foundation.
someone not in our family, a close family friend has described it as a Godzilla cracker barrel. And
Yeah.
and that's pretty darn
Yep.
accurate.
Yep.
And so like I have a different relationship with Godzilla movies than I have with almost any other film. I kind of live around them. And also like I don't know, I started going to a Godzilla fan convention when I was in first grade and I went to that every summer with my family from first grade to my junior year of high school because of COVID. And then I've like gone pretty much every other year since then except like one. And so like I don't know, Godzilla films are just different and trying to pick favorites, it's hard. And so like I probably could, but I just didn't. And this top 10, so like it's not necessarily coherent. I just don't think it needs a spot in there. I think it's understood that I love these films, but they're not necessarily like my favorite movies of all time,
Right.
which is
Is that also that's the same convention that your parents like got an award at or something, right? Like didn't they get honored at a Godzilla
yes.
convention?
My
Like
parents are
that's
in
how
the
hardcore you guys are.
my parents are in the G Fan Hall of Fame,
There we
which
go.
is like a thing they give for people who have like contributed to the convention and to the fandom at large. So like, and my dad's written in magazines. And here's like, and maybe this is an extra part of the disclaimer. I mean, going to that convention is part of what really like fostered my interest in filmmaking because I got to meet these like directors and actors of people who I liked their movies. And
Mhm.
this was just, it's like such like a formative part of me that I do want to like set it aside and kind of give it its flowers here at the beginning. Like I
Mhm.
love these movies, but like I mean, here's a rule. Here's a rule on the front that I want to establish. We do allow franchises, but
Yeah.
then saying Godzilla, that's like 30 odd some films.
Right.
That seems like a little unfair. It's like I think part of this too is like I can't
Mhm.
say, oh, 35 movies are in my top 10
You
or one entry in my
know,
top
a
10.
trilogy can be in your top 10.
Yeah.
I feel
But
like anything beyond like
yeah.
3 or 4 movies is kind of a lot.
If I had to give a favorite Godzilla movie, though, it would probably be a film that I'm going to make you watch, and I'm going to be there when you watch it, which is Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant
Mhm.
Monsters, All Out Attack, which is from 2001. I don't know if you'd like that movie, but it just it's great. It's my favorite Godzilla design. It's my favorite Godzilla design because it's from that movie. Like
Mhm.
it's just a fun movie, and so like I'll say that if the Godzilla fans are coming for me, that's my favorite. I love it. I'll stand by it. I don't know
If the
what could
folks at
top it.
home, if I can point something out to the folks at home, notice how he said he wasn't going to put Godzilla on the top 10, but then he was like,
And
but
I
if
said
I
a movie.
had to pick a favorite
Yeah,
Godzilla that's completely separate from the top 10, it would
yeah,
be this one. We're already playing fast and loose with the rules, but it'll be fine.
yeah. It'll be fine. Yeah, we are the rules.
We
So
are.
so
I'm the law, Andy.
you're gonna die first. Do you wanna
No,
start us off
no,
now?
no, you can go ahead and do your thing.
Okay. Are you ready to time me?
I am. Hold on, let me get
Wait,
my
don't
thing.
start yet because I have one more caveat.
Oh, it's
The
already
first
going.
the first five movies on my list are like definitely solidified, and then the other five are like other movies could maybe like sneak in, but
Sure.
like this is my list.
Are
The
these
first
in
five,
are these
no,
in any
they're
particular order?
not necessarily, but you won't be shocked by the first one at all.
Okay.
So my first film is, you ready? My first film is No Country for Old Men. No, number one.
What?
No way.
Oh my God.
The movie Andy compares every other film he watches in his whole life to. He loves this movie. No way. Okay, so this is No Country for Old Men from 2007, directed by Joel and Ethan Cohen. This is a 10 out of 10. I'll say it. It's a near perfect film. I saw this film. I don't know if you know the story in like 2019 after I had watched The Kissing Booth, which was like a teen comedy that was really popular. I
That's a
literally
fun
watched
follow-up.
I watched it the night I watched The Kissing Booth. I watched this as well, and my mind was blown. It's a masterclass in show don't tell. It is thematically like excellent. It's amazingly shot by Roger Deakins. It's a chase film, which I just love chase films. And honestly, all I need to say, I wrote this little sentence and it's not original to me, and I think it just explains it so well. It's a neo noir 80s Western chase film.
Mhm.
It's got this great tone. You have to figure it out, but it's not convoluted. I love it. I don't even know how long that is, but that's what I have to say. What do you have to say? about my movie.
That's
A
you
minute.
still got
Okay, we got time. Then let's
you still got
talk.
2 minutes.
I
I too like No Country for Old Men, as you know. It's a Coen Brothers movie. It's way high up there on the list. I actually, in order to build my list, I had to look at my IMDb scores, and I realized that I have very few things that are in 10, like a perfect 10. And I think I had that at like a 9 or an 8. I can't remember. It's very, very high up there. And I remember seeing that movie a while ago and equally like being mesmerized by what was going on.
this it's finally see it's not a hot take to say this is an incredible movie. It won
Right.
Best Picture.
Mhm.
But it like things do, it kind of faded, and I feel like this movie's coming back. I mean, it has a Criterion release now, which la di da, but like as a Criterion release, cultural commentators are starting to talk about how like this was one of the last great movies, which I don't necessarily agree with that, but like
I do.
this is a high watermark for
It's
sure.
one of the it's one of several ongoing like movies used to be really great. You had a big glut of fantastic films in the 80s and 90s and a whole bunch in 99. And then once you get to the mid 2000s, things start tapering off a lot. And now I can count on one hand the
Yeah,
number of great movies
that
I've
is
seen in the
fair.
last 3 years.
And
So,
like this movie sets the tone for a serious movie that I think is good. Like it
mhm.
has to, not that it has to do what this movie does, but it has to compete with this for it to be great. This is a like No Country is the great movie of the 21st century.
Yeah, it's a modern classic. And it also has no sound, like
Yeah,
no
no score.
music, which is fantastic. But you don't even notice it the first time you
Yeah.
watch it.
And that's
It's so
what the
engaging.
genius of this movie is. Okay, so that's No Country for Old Men.
Mhm. That was your, are you going like 10? I know it's not in any particular order, but are you counting down 10 to 1 or are you going 1 down to
I am
10?
counting up,
You're counting
but
up. So,
it's in no particular order because I'm working through movies that I feel like are definitely top 10, and then like I said, the other 5 are are competing for that spot.
okay.
The first 5 don't, there's no competition for the first
So
5.
mine are also in not a definitive order, but the number one is still definitely kind of number one. There's some things that could almost tie with it, but I'm just going to say at number one for me is J.J. Abrams' 2011 Super 8,
Really?
which Andy hasn't seen, and
Yeah, I was gonna
eventually
say I
he'll
haven't
get
seen it.
around to seeing it on the podcast at some point. But it is hands down my favorite film. There is really no other film experience like it. Um, and especially and again, this is a very subjective list. It came at a time when I hadn't seen a lot of things, so that certainly influences, how impressed you are by a film. But it's one of those films that just really completely rewrote the paradigm on what I thought a movie could do. It was the first to film. It's the first to film. It was the first film I was going back to my roots there, guys. It's the first film that really affected me emotionally at all. Up to that point, I never really cared about that many characters, what was going on screen, and that one actually invested me emotionally. And it's really well shot. It's got fantastic characters. It's got a great score by Michael Giacchino or Giacchino, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And it's it's a movie that I saw in the theater like literally the second or first week it came out, like very close to opening day. And the only thing I knew about it going in was I had seen a trailer, and I never even saw the whole trailer. I had seen a teaser that was like 30 seconds. And in the trailer, all you see is an overturned train and all this wreckage and smoke. And something inside the train car is bashing on the door, trying to get out, and the door is denting. And that's all you see. And it's like building up, and we're dollying towards it. And then like the door flies off, and you just are engulfed in black. And then it just says Super 8, I think like June 11th or whatever the heck it is, like the release date. And that was it. And I was from that teaser, I was like, I got to see this movie. It's a
Yeah.
mystery. I don't know what it's about. I had no clue what it was. And I went in blind and I was just overwhelmed with it. It's a movie that also hits really close to home because while it was filmed in I believe West Virginia, it takes place in Ohio in 1979, and it's these kids that are trying to make a movie, and it just felt very much like something familiar to me. And then I always just love the idea of, yeah, kids and a monster And it's just so well done. And the first time I ever saw the train crash sequence in the theater, it was so loud that it was almost unbearable. And then every time I saw it after that, it wasn't as loud because it was in smaller theaters. And I went, oh, I really miss it. Like
Yeah.
it was really
How
thrilling.
old were you when you first saw it?
It was 2011, so I would have been 17, 16, 17. I would have been just
Cool.
turning 17.
Yeah, the only thing I know about that movie is that there is a train crash and the like it they're I know it's Super 8.
Mhm.
That's what I know. What would you rate it?
Oh, 10, 10 out of
Okay. That makes sense. Duh, but
10.
awesome. Okay. That's really cool. I have to see that movie now.
It'll
We
be
should
on
do
the
that
list.
soon. Okay.
Mhm.
My next film is the 1948 classic Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, directed by
Yes.
Chad Barton. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I realize when we rate movies, we either give them 8, like we give them 8s, and 8 is about high as we go, or
Mhm.
we'll be like 10 out of 10. I think you gave
Yeah.
one movie a 9. You gave David Fincher's 7 a 9, when which is so confusing to say. But I need to give this movie a 9. My love of Abbott and Costello movies in general is what like kind of birthed my love of movies in a very real way. I loved Abbott and Costello movies as a kid. My dad showed them to me when I was very, very young. I mean, I had to be no older than first grade, kindergarten, when I remember seeing Abbott and Costello, and because they're good, clean fun. Uh, and yeah, it my love of old Hollywood and like Abbott and Costello led to me loving Jimmy Stewart movies, which led to me to Ginger Rogers, which led to Astaire and Rogers, which led to like musicals, which was a whole thing for me as a young kid. As you know, every Gen Z kid wants to be. I wanted to be in show business, and so those were just really cool. But I think this is peak Abbott and Costello. It's like them really close to their funniest. I don't know if it's necessarily at their funniest, but it's really, really close. And it's also like a peak Universal Monsters film. Like it's simultaneously doing the best of Abbott and Costello and the best of Universal Monsters. It's kind of this the Universal Monsters films would do these like every monsters in it thing already, and this kind of does it the best because it's all the actors you'd recognize with the exception of Glenn Strange as
Mhm.
Frankenstein's monster. But it's really good. It's really like its humor still lives. The style of this film, this like kind of matter of fact 40s film, is still like an aesthetic I really think is cool. I mean, it's very much shot on a sound stage and with matte paintings and all these things, but it's like I love this movie. I think it's so good. I can quote so much of this movie. It's so like this is kind of my appeal also to like Universal Monster movies as a whole, even though
Mhm.
this is kind of tangentially like a spin-off or a spoof of those. Those are also still so like influential on me. So like I don't know. And this is a movie I'll watch over and over again, even though
How
I've
many
seen it.
times do you think you've seen it?
Oh, I've seen it over oh, easily over a dozen, but probably 15, 20
Mhm.
times. But yeah. The score
Wow.
is great. 9 out of 10. Abbott and Costello are hilarious. It's great. I mean, that's what I'll say about this movie. I don't need to kill 15 more times. If you haven't seen it recently, go watch it. And I'm like, I might not say that for all these movies, but if you haven't seen it recently, go watch it. It's great. Good, clean fun.
Yeah, it's funny you would bring that one up because I remember seeing that many times as a kid. And I remember watching that in the Lincoln Lion Theater around Halloween. They had like a double feature, and my friends and I went to see it. And that's a lot of fun. It's a really good
It's
one.
just so good.
Let's see. So my next pick, and this one honestly, this is also kind of in order, um, because Super 8 was number one. This is number two. Again, a few things could almost beat it out for number two,
Yeah.
but we're both going subjective here. And part of what I rate a movie really highly on isn't just craft, it's entertainment value, and entertainment value is also long term, right? So it's like, okay, it was really
Yeah.
entertaining once. Identity's entertaining once. Can you really watch it a whole bunch of times? It's kind of the problem with thrillers. I mean, I've seen Identity multiple times, but thrillers are usually best once. Mysteries are usually best once. So if you have something that has a lot of repeat watchability, and that's why I picked for mine is Big Lebowski. And this is another one that Andy hasn't seen. He will see very soon. Certain special arrangements have to be made in order for him to see it. But um, Big Lebowski is one of those movies I have seen probably. It's a Coen Brothers movie. It's probably considered their best, depending on who you talk to. There's obviously disputes over this because No Country for Old Men is fantastic in terms of being a drama, and Fargo is usually high up in the conversation. But Big Lebowski, as far as a comedy is concerned, is maybe my favorite comedy, or one of my favorite comedies ever. It's the humor encompasses everything from like highbrow, lowbrow, slapstick, wordplay. It's everything. And that's what I love in a comedy movie is when you don't just stay one note, you do everything. And often they'll contrast something really smart with something really dumb immediately after it. And it's brilliant. The casting is perfect. The acting is perfect. And I know I'm kind of setting an expectation here and I can't talk too in depth about it because Andy hasn't seen it, but the casting and the characters in this thing is where all the comedy comes from. And the characters are so natural. And it's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite in the sense that there's not really it's the only film I've ever seen that's like really plot heavy, but also doesn't seem to give a crap about the plot. And ultimately the plot kind of doesn't matter. So it seems both fast paced and also like it's taking its leisurely time. And I've never seen anyone else ever balance that before. Even the Coens never did that again. It only exists in this movie. And it's just a fun movie. It is so amazing. There's so many quotable moments. Like the entire script is quotable. It's not as over the top as Raising Arizona is. It's not like as in your face with the comedy, but it's there and it's amazing. And it gets funnier the more I watch it. Because when I first saw it, I had to be 20, maybe 21. And I didn't fully get it. I enjoyed it, but I kind of like Napoleon Dynamite. I wasn't a whole 100% on board yet. And then the second time I watched it, I realized that the one character played by John Goodman reminded me so much of an amalgam between my one cousin and a guy I work with. And once I made that connection, I went, this is brilliant because I know people like this. And it just got funnier the more I watched it. So Big Lebowski is going to be one that that you have to watch very soon. You're going to really love some of the moments in it, I think. I don't want to oversell it, and I'm not going to give anything away, but classic film, modern classic. It's I only have good things to say about it. There's a masterclass of acting in it from everybody, and you wouldn't even think it needs it because it's just a comedy, but it's great. So that's what I got.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Your rating would also be a 10 out of 10?
Oh yeah, yeah. Big Lebowski is
Awesome.
one of the few movies on my IMDb that has a 10 out of 10. I think there's only maybe the funny thing is the top 10 movies on my IMDb are all 10 out of 10s. And those are actually interrupted by a lot of TV shows. Like the Fargo TV show is up there and Rick and Morty's up there. And so there's like it's strange because the majority of my things that get 10 out of 10s aren't even movies. They're shows.
Yeah.
So
That
I
is
judge
interesting.
films very harshly on.
I
So
actually
what do you got for us?
I was gonna joke. This is that Atlanta season 1 and 2 was my number one movie of all time
Mm-hmm.
because that's so good. And I have
Afro surrealism.
I'm really scared to watch the rest of that show. And that fear is stayed with me. You ready?
Mhm.
Number 3, we have Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Really?
And yeah. And here's again, it's not number 3. We're not going in order. This is the third one I'm saying. But I'm saying Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I give it a 7 out of 10. I think this is the best comic book movie of all time. Hands down. This is it. It's a defining movie of my like mid teenage years. I think there was something about it. I don't know. I was more of a comic book kid in middle school and high school than I was a movie kid. And so like that vibe really I dug. And it's also maybe you can help clarify this for me. This is more of like a millennial movie that it's translated to Gen Z at all. I know some people who are Gen Z who've watched it, but a lot of Gen Z kids actually don't know this movie. And I've had the privilege of giving like a plot synopsis, which maybe we should have been doing that for some of these movies, but like a guy has to fight this girl's 10 evil exes. That's the movie, and it starts with him dating a girl in high school, and it's really funny and really weird. The cast is
Funny
incredible.
how that some of these themes follow you around.
It's so weird. Um, it's very 2000s. It's very fun. It's also a like a really good musical question mark because
Mhm.
the sound is such a like the songs are such a big part of it. And I don't know, it's a movie that doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's in like this cartoon world.
Also
It's
like
like
your life.
yeah, it's a live action
Musicals,
cartoon.
cartoons,
It's
like
my life. I'm Scott. Is basically what I say. Um, but no, it's such an interesting film. I think Edgar Wright's sensibilities like fit this film perfectly.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm not a huge Edgar Wright guy, but like it just the style matches it perfectly. It was really like formative. When you if you would have asked like 16 to 19-year-old Andy what his favorite movie was, like this would definitely be up there. And it still is. If you're asking 23-year-old Andy, I
Wow.
think it's still like a really fun film and it's really funny. And there's lines in it that I quote all the time. The L word being lesbians. It's great. It's great. Like it's just really funny. I have a lot of fun with it. It's really good. I feel like I'm going really early. Yeah, that's two
Yeah.
minutes. What else do you want to know about this movie?
Well,
Oh,
what other Edgar Wright movies have you seen?
I think I've seen Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Oh. Well, then you've not really even seen, I mean, Scott Pilgrim is your favorite, but you've not really seen some of his more well-regarded films, even. Like
Mm-mm.
Shaun of the Dead is very well regarded.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott Pilgrim, I don't think it did incredibly well, but there's definitely a big fan base for
I
it.
think there's a strong cult following for it.
Mhm.
And I kind of want to this is a movie that I still like want to proselytize like for it. I want to be like you need to see this movie because it's really fun.
No,
And
I've
I
seen it.
and it's
Um,
part of well not you
Yeah.
like
Yeah, no, I
you
know.
people who
I'm
haven't
just
seen it.
I was wanting to add like I've seen it and one thing that I was really impressed with. Yeah, I know you know that I've seen it, but I'm like saying one of the things that I was really impressed with was the just um the transitions scene to scene. Like the amount of work that went into some of this
Yeah.
stuff. And it literally is. It's like a comic book. Stuff will happen and it'll go into the next scene and it'll do what it does.
Yeah. And like the visual effects are great. They might not be like the best CGI ever, but like they serve
Oh,
the
they
story so
absolutely
well.
fit. Yeah, they serve the
Yeah.
story.
So
And that was that I don't know if you know this. I should know this, but I don't know this. That was like one of Chris Evans' first films, question mark.
I don't know. I don't know where it fits in his filmography. It's early. I
Mhm.
don't think it's first ever because I feel like the
Yeah, not
Fantastic
first
Four was around
ever.
there.
Yeah, but it was early on in his career. It was early on in it was fairly early on in a lot of their careers actually. So,
Yeah.
interesting. Interesting pick. Okay. For me, I'm going to bring a trilogy into the mix, and my next pick is Lord of the Rings, the trilogy.
Nice.
Um, Honestly, I'm not even going to use my full 3 minutes on this because I think everything that can be said about Lord of the Rings can be said, and I also think that it's kind of obvious why anybody would pick this. We've both seen it. It's a classic. It is both a modern classic and a classic because it's now miraculously 26 years old, which is kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Um, Everything was pretty much as perfect as it could be. It's one of the first and also last great like action adventure fantasy movies to come out of the millennium. It was weird because we kind of got it with both barrels. Like it was like Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean and this and this and this. And it's like all that crap came at us at once. And then it all kind of dried up right around the same time that Marvel came in and kind of took over. And it's just a beautiful series of films. It's basically just one big 9.5 hour film. And
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it. I had originally seen it when I was like 6, 7, and 8 in the theaters. So a lot of it was lost on me. I knew it was cool, but I didn't get it. And then I didn't see it again until 2021. And 2021, I
Wow.
sat down and rewatched the films with effectively fresh eyes. Like I remembered things, but you know,
You lucky duck. That's
yeah,
kind of awesome.
yeah, from
That's
8
great.
years old all the way to, 29, 28,
Yeah.
27. And I watched it at a friend of mine's house. He has an in-home theater system with like a projector and the surround sound. And it was really mind-blowing to just see it and to be able to appreciate all the art. Peter Jackson outdid himself, and with the exception of a few random creative choices or a couple green screens that, out of a movie that's all effects. Like really it's nitpicking at this point to be like, oh, this holds up or this doesn't hold up. It's like they're just fantastic movies and they don't make them like they used to. So you can talk if you want because that's my 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, I'll spoiler alert, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is not on my list. That's actually funny that like
What?
until we were texting about if we could include franchises or not, it
Mhm.
had crossed my mind to include LOTR.
Oh wow.
I love it a lot, and it is formative to like me in many ways. One of which being like those behind the scenes
Oh, especially.
that they did is like
Yeah.
that's why I want to make movies and like have any interest in that. It's kind of that's one of the things you can point to. I think I mean, you said it. It's a perfect trilogy. I think part of it, and I'm going to be the snob to say, like, I really like the books. The movies are like everything you said about the movies are true.
Mhm.
But if I'm
But
going to
where's
pick,
Tom Bombadil?
where's Tom
Where'd he go?
Bombadil? I don't know. I stand by the fact that like some edits were good and others like the end is literally what the thing's about,
Mhm.
and you cut it out.
Right.
So it's kind of I don't know. That's it's the Lord of the Rings books are worth the read, and I finally did it like last year, and it was great. But the movies are incredible, and Fellowship has aged the worst, which is just too bad. So
And even for aging the worst, it still looks great. So
yeah,
we're good.
true that. How do you want to rate the Lord of the Rings trilogy as a whole?
I mean, it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
What's your next one?
My next one coming at you all the way from 1933. It is the original King Kong.
Kong. I knew it. I knew it.
Which is hilarious because I gave my whole spiel about Godzilla, and yet King Kong is on the list without a doubt. I simply wrote because it's the best, which is kind of the second time in a row we're saying that about a thing. But
Mhm.
uh, the original King Kong's incredible. It's Art Deco stop motion monster movie.
Yeah.
There it is. There, and it's a movie about making a movie, which is almost always a fun trope. And I think it's an every time I watch it, I get sucked in. I love the world. I love Skull Island. Every time I watch it, I'm blown away by the detail because it's from 1933. Even if that came out now, it would be an incredible movie.
Mhm.
But incredible use of the technology. Kong is incredible. The art of that movie is so good. Stop motion was, not born there, but was brought to the masses in King Kong, and it is just such an interesting film. I love it. It's great. It also probably like of the things I've said so far, I don't think it gets like the real love it deserves amongst modern movie snobs because it's just so incredible. It's like such a good monster movie. It's what you want. You go and you find the monster and he comes back and he rampages. And it did that before that was everywhere, and it deserves its flowers. What do you want to say about King Kong? Because that's and 9 out of 10 because it's really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. All that. The King Kong actually, and I've had this conversation before, and we might have had it on the show, but what O'Brien was doing for visual effects as a whole, not just stop motion, but what he was doing for visual effects as a whole was insane. And Harryhausen,
Preach.
yeah, Harryhausen took that and like perfected the animation, but in terms of integration, O'Brien was still superior.
There are scenes in King Kong where we have action in the front and then in the background is like a painting and then birds flying through the air.
Mhm. There were multiple like mats, composites,
Yeah.
rear projection, small rear projection screens, animation, matte paint, like the stacking of elements that they did in camera, just looking through a viewfinder is insane. And Harryhausen never, even at his peak, never did anything close to that. Like his animation was way better and smoother. He was able to take advantage of foam latex and actually, instead of, getting away from build up to the point where you could sculpt something and have higher detail. And he improved the process of animation itself. But in terms of integration and interaction, O'Brien was still light
Yeah.
years ahead and he really innovated. So yeah, anybody who hasn't seen it, they got to go see it.
Yeah, and just appreciate exactly what you're saying. They did this before like monitors were a thing.
Right. Before really any way of checking your work. You just kind of had to do it and hope it worked, and then you'd find out later when
Yeah.
the film came back. So,
Insane. Insane film. I love it.
well,
I
that's King
debated it.
Kong.
I debated including Son of Kong so that I could do a
Ooh,
franchise, but
yeah,
no.
Son of Kong is rough though.
Lesson in rushing a sequel.
So for my next one, I have a film that I've probably seen almost as many times as he's lived it, and that's Groundhog Day. And I know you've seen Groundhog Day.
Wow. Yeah.
So I can talk about Groundhog Day with some detail, as much detail as 3 minutes will allow. So obviously, it's a classic. It's a Bill Murray classic. It's a not a particularly novel concept because even when it came out, there were plenty of people that had already explored time loops, and there were various authors who even tried to sue the writers and say, "Hey, you stole my thing." It's like, well, you can't copyright one single concept. All right, you just can't. That's like you can't copyright a chord progression as evidenced by Olivia Rodrigo and Vampire or, half the other songs that exist. But the point is, they utilize the time loop in such a fun way to explore a romantic comedy because it's really the only romantic comedy I actually really enjoy. Because romantic comedies are saccharine and preposterous, and they really don't hold up, and they don't really make any sense when you think about it. And Groundhog Day is actually worse when you think about it because he's lived at minimum 10 years in this time loop. So he knows Rita inside and out, having, short of sleeping with her. So the minute you get out of the time loop and then you decide, well, let's stay here and she's going to want to go on all these first dates again and you're going to have to act surprised, even though you
Yeah.
know all these things. But the fact of the matter is, it's a fantastic, fantastic film. And if you just kind of suspend your disbelief and suspend the knowledge of how stupid romantic comedies generally are, this is really the best romantic comedy ever. And it's a movie that, as close as I can surmise, comes the closest to being a audiovisual representation of your experience in listening to music. And here's what I mean by that. You can listen to the same, like your favorite song, and you can listen to it all your life. You know every beat of it, you know every line of it, you know all the lyrics, you know when the drum solo is going to come in, you know the guitar solo. It's the same. You should be tired of it. And instead, you're just as jazzed about it the billionth time as you were the first time. And Groundhog Day is kind of like that. It should be really repetitive and boring. And in fact, I know a couple of people who find it boring. And I understand why, because the same thing does happen every time. But I think it lands you into a rhythm and this exploration of character and of moments and of time. And each time it's not exactly the same because he's doing something funny or doing something different. And I don't know. I love it. I love it to death. I love the casting. It's really funny. It's really well made. And the amount of work that went into this movie. They filmed every scene outside, like any outside shot. They had to film like I think 2 or 3 different times on different days because they weren't sure what the continuity was going to be like, whether it was going to be sunny, cloudy, etc. So they just had to
Wow.
film everything a bunch of times. Plus, you film multiple takes anyway. Plus, you film a scene from multiple angles a bunch of times because of coverage. And
Yeah.
you're filming multiple scenes because it's a time loop. So it's like this had to be just a mind-numbing film to make. And
Yeah.
it's
That
amazing.
is insane. Your rating?
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty great. Though I have
If I
seen it,
was being salty, 9.5, but I'm going to give it an even 10.
9.5. Uh, though I've seen it, I haven't seen it in a while. I'll give you that. I need to rewatch that film for
It's
sure.
great.
Okay, coming in at number 5 is the reason I asked if we could do franchises, and it's gonna knock your socks off. Coming at number 5 is my is 2 classic films.
Wait, can I guess? I haven't started the
Yes.
time. Can I try to guess?
I
Fate
already
of the
gave you
Furious.
no.
Fast and the Furious.
I said I gave you a hint. I gave you a
Oh,
pretty big hint,
okay.
but it's
Go ahead.
only 2. Do you want it? Do you want to? You
Yeah,
know my
just go
love
ahead.
of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
I was
Aquaman
being
1 and 2.
fatuous.
No, I'm
Yes.
Legend of Boggy Creek and Legend of Boggy Creek 2
I should
and
have
The
seen that
Legend
coming.
Continues,
I should have seen
which
that
are
coming.
which are both of the Charles B. Pierce Legend of Boggy Creek films. There is another one that was in between them, but he didn't direct it. I don't think I've even seen it. From 72 and 85 respectively. And I have to give the caveat of with the sequel and The Legend Continues. I am meaning the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version from 99
Oh, wow.
because between these two pieces of media, these two movies, I don't think there is a more formative thing that I've watched, meaning connect the dots between everything. I think things come back to this the most between Boggy Creek and The Legend Continues
Mm.
and MST as a whole. Like, this is super influential. I mean, and here's the thing with the first one, Legend of Boggy Creek, 72. Um, probably every year and a half, I come back to this film just to like be like, I want to check this out. And I get sucked in every time. Now, here's the thing, far from perfect films, both of these. One's literally on MST3K, but we've talked about it before on our Creature from Black Lake episode. But the like 70s, 80s Bigfoot swamp aesthetic is anamorphic film grain look is like fundamental to like what I think is cool looking. And Legend Boggy Creek nails it. I mean, it sets the tone. And so like it's that plus like it's this weird docudrama style that is corny and cheesy and weird, but like works way too well for some reason in that first one. The second is an MST and it's hilarious. And I can quote lines and bits from the MST out the wazoo, and it's so good. But like, I mean, here's the thing: is like this is such an influential piece. I mean, it was literally 10 years ago today, as of us recording this, that we wrapped filming on Boggy Creek Monster, the Small Town Monsters film.
And you
I
were
was
13?
yeah, I was,
Wow.
and I was there, and that was such a formative experience of like being around making a movie, and I mean, I've said this publicly, and this is like again, like we can make these connections of like I've said this. I said things about how Legend of Boggy Creek 2 and The Legend Continues was formative to me, and 1 and 2, in a room full of people in Freeport, Maine,
Mhm.
and this lady came up to me afterwards and sat down to me and went, "My daddy was Chuck Pierce, and it was Pam Pierce who's the like head of the estate and is responsible for the Blu-ray releases we have now and all the Boggy Creek stuff
Dang.
continuing." And it was kind of weird and I've maintained some sort of connection with them over the years, and that's been really fun. And it's just like Boggy Creek and Falk as a place is like super important, and these movies are as well. And I'd rate them. What did I write down? I mean, average between them two, I think I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. I think the
Wow.
first one's so. Even though I haven't seen, I don't think I've seen And the Legend Continues non MST, which I should change, which would probably be like would bring that average a little
It
bit.
would, yeah, that would bring it down for sure.
But
Dang.
that's
Yeah,
what I
I should
got.
have seen
Yeah,
that coming. I should have seen that one coming because
I
I
don't.
know your love of the Bigfoot 70s Bigfoot aesthetic. Um okay, so you should see this one coming. Again, this is no particular order, but it is number 5 in the list, but that's not necessarily where it falls. And that would be my favorite, your favorite, The Fugitive.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. Let me tell you something. I think that was what episode was that we talked about The Fugitive? It was some months
It
back.
was the first one we ever recorded,
Right, but
and
it came out like
it
out of
came out
order.
months ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
Um,
probably I don't even know when.
like back in October, probably, or
Yeah,
September or something. Yeah, I think it was September is when we did it. Anyway, The Fugitive is amazing. It's about a guy. It's based off of the TV show, but way better than the show by like a billion light years. And it's about a guy who's falsely accused of killing his wife, and he's after the man who did it, who happens to be a one-armed man, but nobody believes him, and so he escapes and he goes on the run, and it's all about him trying to prove his innocence and stay one step ahead of Tommy Lee Jones and his crew, who are U.S. Marshals. And it's an amazing movie because it's really a movie that has an anti-antagonist, if you will. Like Tommy Lee Jones is kind of the antagonist, but you're rooting for both of them, which is an amazing feat. It's a film where the antagonist is still also the good guy, and he's just trying to do his job and bring in this fugitive and says the iconic line, I don't care. Like when he tells him, I didn't kill my wife, he's like, I don't care. That's not my job. Like, I don't care. I just need to bring you in. And Harrison Ford is actually trying to solve this murder. And it's so cool to see the interplay between them. The dialogue in that movie is I think it might be my hands down favorite dialogue in any movie ever. And it's made all the better by, as we described and as we discussed at length in the episode, which is that entire movie was nearly all improvised. Like it's a high percentage of improvisation because they shot this movie without like a perfectly finished script and they didn't know
That's
what the heck
so
they were doing.
insane still.
It really is. Like this would be a fantastic movie even if they had done a million drafts and like everybody was at the top of their game and they had rehearsed.
Yeah.
It's an even better movie because they would just kind of show up on set and the actors would go off on their own and go, here's what I'm thinking I'm going to say. And then you might say this and they'd figure it out. And then they'd go up to the director and go, hey, here's what we got. And the director would be like, all right, let's shoot it. And they block it and they do it. And it's some of the best dialogue. Like you remember like
Yes.
the interplay between like
It's
the U.S.
incredible.
Marshals and each other is amazing. And it's really witty. It's really fun. Everybody's likable. And
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know, it's thrilling, it's funny, it's engaging, it's intense, it's well paced, even though it's fairly long. There's not an ounce of fat on it. It's shot well, even though it's not like in a pretty way. Like it's not like what
Yes.
you think of when you think good
Yes.
cinematography, but it serves the story, it does its job well. And it's just so darn good. And I watch it maybe once every year to year and a half, and I've seen it probably maybe 20 times. I don't know. I've seen it
Yeah.
almost every year since I was a teenager. So, Fugitive.
And your rating 10 out of 10? I forget what you rated on
I
the
think
episode.
that's a 10 out of 10. It might be a 9 out of 10 if I wanted to be picky, but I don't know. I
That might have been
subjectively
the
I
one
love
you
it
gave a
enough.
9. No, I said 7 was the one you gave a 9. You gave Fugitive. No, you gave Fugitive a 9. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 9, but subjectively, I really
Okay.
should
Yeah.
revise that. It really is a 10. I love it so much.
And I'll tell you, of the movies I've given my heart on this show, that
Mhm.
is one of two. I actually don't even know if this is true. That's one that's not on my list, but I think is so good.
It's one
Like,
of a few. You've given your
yeah.
heart a few times.
Well, I must say, there's a few that are. I've
Of
given
what's
my
on your
heart.
list, you
Yeah,
mean.
of what's on my
Okay.
list today, there are a few that didn't make it on. As much as this is like the definition of what that is, but I think The Fugitive is really good. I really was blown away, and it is a movie I have like tried to get people to watch.
Mhm.
That and Identity are the two that like I have buddies who I'm like, you need to watch these movies.
Yeah.
My number 6 is, to no one's surprise, 1987's Raising Arizona.
I knew that was going to be on the list somewhere.
Yeah, we're now in the part of the list where it is a little like we'll see, but Raising Arizona's spot is like pretty
I
solid.
knew that was confirmed.
I just think this movie's great for all the reasons I said. Go like on our episode, excellent characters, great dialogue. It's funny, No Country for Old Men in one way, which isn't what makes it great, but it's like it's what I want in like a fun movie, which is this mix of really like grounded character motivation and surreal as you can think. Like this is where you start to see my interest in surrealism, because I don't need things to be all grounded and whatever. Because I don't know. I'll listen to the score from this movie. I haven't watched it a ton recently, but I have a friend who when they're in town from being in school, we're gonna watch this movie because I've talked about it so much. So like I love this movie. I love the characters. Again, it's a Coen Brothers movie, and it's just like it's scrappy enough. The production of it's just like, I don't want to say low, but it's got like it's of its time enough that it's really interesting, but it's not like what you think of when you think of 80s movie.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
not
like
high budget. It's relatively
Yeah.
low budget.
So like there's some cool like handheld camera work and things like that that I think are really funny. The characters are so funny. There's so many funny moments. I say fiance all the time, and it's only because of Raising Arizona. And it's appropriately rated. I don't think like I'd say like it's underrated, because if you like listen to what people say about this movie, they're like it's the funniest movie of all time, and no one talks about it. So like it's kind of almost a basic thing, but I think it's super good. I think
Look
it's
at here,
fun.
young sportsman.
Yeah. The lines are endless. It's endlessly quotable. It's so fun. It's so good. I love the way it looks. I gave it a 7.5 when we reviewed it, and I kind of stand by that though. 7.5, 8. A subjective gets in there, and then we're here at like 9.
Yeah. Right. 9.5, 10. I don't know, man. I'm okay. You're okay. That there's what it is, honey.
Yeah.
Like
I love him so much.
that scene always takes me like by surprise. I don't know why.
Yeah.
it just always kind of just shows
The
up.
I love him so much moment. I mean,
Mhm.
like everyone falling in love with Junior.
Mhm.
The the,
Everybody calling him Junior.
yeah,
He's
like
like
keep
five different juniors now.
yeah, keep yeah, like keep your hands off my wife. Like those moments are just
Keep your
great.
dang hands off my
Oh,
wife.
like
That's peak Nick Cage too. Like that's early,
yes,
that's young, like 20, what, 3-year-old Nick Cage, 25-year-old Nick Cage, very young.
it's so good.
Everybody's in it.
The
Yeah, I
scene of
love that
them
movie.
seeing them running around is so good.
Oh, while he's getting chased by the cops after he
Yeah.
robs the convenience store. Yeah. Boy, you got a
Boy.
panty on your head.
Ah, and there's just more screaming. The scene of John C. Riley coming out of the dirt mud is like I've made me cry laughing when I saw it. So that's Raising Arizona.
Here we go. Wow. Yeah. Raising Arizona, I believe it's an honorable mention on my list, but it's not in the 10. It's really close to being in the 10. It was really hard to figure out what was in the 10 and what wasn't.
Yeah.
But this one should be absolutely no surprise to you. It might be a massive surprise to our audience because they're going to go, "What the heck is he talking about?" And I just want to remind them, this is subjective. Again, this isn't us going, "These are the best movies ever made." Some of them are. Like The
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is objectively one of the best things you'll
Oh
ever
yeah.
see. Some of this is just like we grew up with it and we really like it, and I don't give a
Oh,
crap
I think I know what it's gonna be.
anybody. I told you, you know what it's gonna be. Do you want to say it or should I?
Is it the Alvin and the Chipmunks one?
Yep. Alvin and the Chipmunks, 2000,
Yeah.
2001's Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman, 2000. So
I
this
still haven't
movie,
seen that. I gotta fix that.
you gotta see it. Here's the thing, and whenever people ask me this question, they're like, "What's your favorite movie?" That's a hard question to answer because, there's obviously a lot of things. But if I had to distill, and by the way, Alvin and the Chipmunks is not my favorite movie, right? I already went over the fact that Super 8's my favorite movie and I love The Fugitive and there's a lot of things. But if I had to if somebody met me for the first time and they're like, "I don't really care to get to know you for any period of time. I just want to know one thing that will distill," which, hey, I don't blame them. But I want to know just one thing that will distill your entire existence for me. I'd be like, Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. And here's why. Not because it's a cartoon, not because it's just so great. Although it is incredibly well made for a cartoon that was a direct-to-video thing. But it's exactly what its name implies. It's the Alvin and the Chipmunks crew. They meet the Wolfman. A next door neighbor happens to be, a wolfman, and hilarity ensues. It's only about maybe 70 minutes. It's not an incredibly long movie, maybe 75. But here's the thing. The reason I say it distills basically my entire existence and personality is because it has basically all the elements. It's a spoof of Universal monsters, as you were talking about. So it's got that Universal, like, gothic horror aesthetic. It's heavy atmosphere. There's like the low-lying fog and all that. It's animated, and I was a big animation fan when I was young, and I big fan of stop motion, even though that's not what it is, but it's cell animation. And it also has this spooky, like, what we would later come to know as kids in peril or children in peril, which is like a subgenre of 80s movie that like was popularized by Spielberg. So like E.T., Super 8. I know that's not Spielberg, he executive produced it, but I'm giving examples of what I'm talking about here. Goonies, Monster Squad, all that kind of stuff. And it's just this genre of movie where you have kids basically having no one to rely on other than themselves, and the adults aren't helpful and often aren't even really present in the film. And so it's up to the kids to face off against a monster, usually, or something else. And so it's got all those elements. It happens around Halloween. It's fall. It's my favorite season. And there's this great character. There's so many lines of dialogue that are written and so much comedy in this movie that is written for adults and not for kids. And there's a character named Madame Rhea. I'm not going to give it away right now, but when you see it, Andy, you'll realize why this character is my favorite. For the audience playing along at home, I know it sucks that I can't really give a definition here, but I really don't want to spoil it for Andy. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, understand that there's a character in this movie who plays like a late night horror host who is a particular ethnicity and has a particular like way of speaking that just has no business being in this thing, and it's hilarious, and she has all the greatest lines, and that's my time.
I was gonna say I was just gonna let you go about that because I think it's so great. Maybe that should be our Halloween special.
I've been saving certain things for Halloween, yeah.
We
And I
need. I want to
mean,
do it. I'm gonna cut. we're gonna have a jump cut for some reason because they
okay,
can't know about this, I guess. But I like the idea we do a double feature, and I think one should be that. Not to pick
I
for
think it
myself,
will.
but I
I
think
think
that'd
it
be
will.
fun.
Because you'll immediately see why I'm so keen on this movie. Again, it's not
Yeah.
perfect, but like
Oh yeah.
it's it's one of those movies that just tells you what you need to know. There's not much to me once you see the movie. Then you go, oh, that's all he is. That's all he's
Yeah.
doing. You know.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So my number, what am I on? 7?
I think so.
Yeah, number 7 film of all time. Favorite film of all time. It's my favorite David Fincher film. It is 2008's Zodiac. Actually, it might be '07, but it doesn't matter. I think it's '07 because it came out the same year as No Country. Yeah, it's '07. Zodiac. I love this movie. I think it's
Really.
like the best, not the best ever, but the best, like, based on a true story crime film. Uh, it's so moody. It's so like it's meticulously based on a true story, as we've like, I don't know if we've talked about on the show, but we talked about personally the fact that like Fincher was like obsessed with everything being just so, while also being interesting,
Hmm.
and like it's a perfect period piece. It's like all time. It's like top 10 period piece because it's so accurate, but it's like so it's interesting. And I'll be honest, like it is interesting, but it's also like kind of boring. But so is real life. So if it's like unfolding in real time, it's like what's going on. It's sometimes just confusing and convoluted.
Hmm.
Also, great needle drops and montages that have no business being as good as they are.
Like hurdy-gurdy man.
Yeah, like so the characters are great. It really builds in suspense while also like not being like a horror movie or anything like that. I watched this also when I was like in my like probably like 17 or 20, or not 17 or 20, 2020. So like 17 or 18. And I remember it freaking me out, honestly. Not like just being like, oh crap. I think I watched it when I was home alone and I was like,
That'll do
like
it.
for the night. And I was like, why'd I do this? What was wrong with me? But
Mhm.
like, I think it's super interesting. I love Jake Gyllenhaal in it. I love Robert Downey Jr. It it looks really cool. It's the '70s. It's great, and it is my favorite David Fincher film. Just fun fact. So
Hmm. I think I knew that before. I remember seeing Zodiac long time ago when I was a teenager. It was on IFC, and it took me multiple watches to not be bored, just because it is obsessive to the point of being tedious in places and it's going over things. But after I got past those first couple watches, the older I got, the more I was able to appreciate it. And it is incredibly well made. Um, and like you said, the needle drops are amazing. The hurdy-gurdy man moment with the killing in the car in slow motion is, I think it kind of redefines that song. I don't think anybody who's seen that movie can hear that song now without thinking of that.
yeah, and like I think it's one of those things, and this is obvious alert. It's like a very book-like movie
Mhm.
because it's based on a book, but like I like movies like that you kind of
Mhm.
have to like sometimes pace out.
I'm surprised that it's as high up on the list as it is because that's a pretty darn long movie too. And I know you're not a fan of long
Yeah,
movies, so you
but
clearly
it
had
earns it.
it
It earns
captivated
it.
you.
It earns it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and with
What I got
5
with
seconds to
5 seconds.
spare,
Yeah.
2 seconds to spare. Oh, 1 second. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah, Zodiac. I wouldn't have placed that on there. I wasn't seeing that coming. Interesting. All right, this one shouldn't surprise anybody. My number 7 here, again in no particular order, is an incredibly formative film for me, Evil Dead 2
There we go.
by the
I've been waiting
great
for that.
Sam Raimi. I saw this movie. I'm not even going to say what the movie is because if the folks at home don't know what Evil Dead 2 is, just go out and watch it. It's a splatter comedy film, effectively. And even then, I've already said too much. It's rated X, which is hilarious because it sounds like something horrible is going to
Yeah.
happen. And this is the thing. My first experiences, I think I mentioned back in our Halloween double feature episode with this and Nightmare on Elm Street, is I saw this movie at I think 17. I stayed up late with my dad to watch it on IFC midnight. It was during like Grindhouse month around October. And it didn't come on until like 11:45 or something at night. So like we stayed up plenty late to see it. And the movie promises you this, the experience in grueling terror. and it's rated X, and it's like for mature audiences. This big red band comes across the screen. I'm like, well, I might have to turn this off and go to bed. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go, you know. And within 5 minutes, like he goes to the cabin with his girlfriend, she gets possessed, she attacks him, he chops off her head like no questions asked, buries her, and then like the furniture starts laughing. I'm like, what are we doing? Like it's just
Yeah.
it was a movie that I laughed so hard. It was my first truly, like, I'd seen Mystery Science Theater, so I understood bad movies, but it was the first movie where it was a bad movie that was a good movie that had a high entertainment value, because a lot of Mystery Science Theater was mostly boring and it was only watchable because they were commenting on it.
Yeah.
And it was the first movie I'd seen that was a bad movie that was a lot of fun, and it snuck up on me. I didn't go into it knowing, like with Mystery Science Theater, you know what you're in for. And this
Yeah.
snuck up on me, much like another film of ours that we talked about that your dad was a guest on with Malignant.
Hmm.
It just pulls the rug out from under you in such a spectacular fashion. And I remember laughing so hard by about 15 minutes in that the next day I found out that I had broken all the blood vessels under my eyes from laughing so hard. I like had a stomach ache and my eyes looked stupid. And it was amazing. It was a lot of fun, and I have really fond memories of watching that with my dad. But also it was really formative because I'd never really seen horror comedy. And I'd never seen it done in such a high level before. And also it's just loaded to the gills with practical effects. I mean, there's every possible technique. Stop motion, traveling mats, undercranking, puppetry, prosthetics, all kinds of stuff. And so I don't know. I mean, you got anything you want to say about it?
I mean, if you haven't seen Evil Dead, the Evil Dead, the first one, don't worry about it. I would
It's not that
also
big a deal.
just go see. You basically will see it.
Mhm.
You'll basically see it the first 5 minutes of Evil Dead
Yeah.
1.
It kind of retcons Evil Dead 1 a little bit.
Yeah. So, in very different films. I, yeah, I. If you want my comments on Evil Dead 2, go check out our episode. And that's not just to make this a big clip show, but
Mhm.
I
But
like
also,
it a lot. I like it. I like it a lot.
right.
I was sullied by really liking the Evil Dead and it being so different than the Evil Dead, but
Mhm.
that's besides the point. My number 8, speaking of just going and listening to the episode, my number 8 is 2022's White Noise. Santino celebrating. Speak so the folks at home can see what you're doing.
I feel vindicated. I right now I feel such pride as a father feels for a son.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy.
I'd live to please you. I don't think we said
Dance
ratings
puppet,
for the,
dance.
for the last couple of movies. I would rate Zodiac an 8 out of 10 and Evil Dead 2 is a
Evil
10 out of
Dead, yeah,
10.
Evil Dead. It's
Yeah.
a 10 out of 10 for enjoyment. It's an 8 out of 10 because it's not like a great movie.
And I would second what that. But White Noise, I'd give it objective 7 out of 10. Or objective 7 out of 10. Subjectively, I just think it's incredible. It's a ride. It's like 3 movies in one. I've never had a movie experience like it. Go listen to our episode. We have an episode that's literally as long as the movie.
The exact length of the movie.
And we plan on it being extending that in the future, if we haven't already, which timelines of when we release these episodes will get confused. But I think this movie is great. I will say the same thing I say to everyone. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And please understand that it's based off a book from the 80s. And so the truth that you're seeing captured in this film feels like it's commenting on very recent events when really it's not. And I think that's the magic to understanding that movie. I know it was for me because I kind of did that almost in real time in our episode because I had like just learned that a couple hours before we hit record. And you could kind of see, because I was like, I don't know. And then I think through the episode, you can see me be like, oh my gosh, this movie is incredible. It was shot in Cleveland, which adds brownie points. It's set in Ohio in the 80s. One of the best looking movies I've ever seen, if not the best looking movie I've ever seen. It's just incredible. I love this movie. I want everyone I know to see this movie so that we can all quote it and I can bark like a dog and you go, it's good. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, dude.
And-
I'm so happy.
Yeah, it is the next movie that my dad and I are going to watch together if we haven't already, but we are working on it soon.
Nice.
We're working on that. We're busy, but actually he's about to leave for a long time, so we'll see. Long time, a week. It's a long time, but that's what I have to say about this film. Great cast, shot great, plot
You've
great.
still got like 30 seconds.
I know. I don't even know what to say. It's just great. I love it so much.
It
Listen to
speaks
our
for
episodes.
itself. Yeah.
Listen to our episode.
Yeah, I got nothing to add to that because it's on my honorable mentions. So
Yeah.
we'll do that. Yeah, great movie. Let's see. My next one, again, should come as no surprise. It is David Fincher's Seven. And we talked about this in the episode, so again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I know we give ourselves like 3 minutes, but I'm not going to give a lot of
Yeah.
time on this one because we give it all of our love and our adoration in the episode. It is an incredibly dark, incredibly moody, incredibly well plotted out film. It's very well acted. It's very well choreographed. There's really, once you see it, you've never seen anything like it. And there are a lot of imitators. And we even said like the beginning of Identity kind of feels like it's doing a bit of a Seven light. And there's a lot of movies like Copycat and some others that do kind of copycat off of Seven. And there's just ain't nothing like the real thing, right?
Yes.
Seven is, if no one's ever seen it, it's a police procedural. It's about a killer who's taken people out using a pattern of the seven deadly sins. So, greed, sloth, lust, envy, gluttony, etc. It's gross. It's grimy. It has a palpable oppressive mood. It's got a mean spirit for most of its movie, but it still kind of has a bit of heart to it. It doesn't completely depress you. I've heard a lot of people say that it like if you never want to smile again, watch Seven. It's like I've seen much more depressing movies than Seven. Um, but it is just so well made and it's so well shot and it's entertaining and it actually has a sense of humor as most Fincher movies do. And it was the first Fincher movie I ever saw. I saw it on a day when I came home from school kind of early. I didn't have much to do and I was kind of slacking on my homework and it was in the middle of a torrential downpour outside and it was constantly torrentially raining in the movie as well. And there was so much suspense and atmosphere in that thing. I about lost my mind, and it really changed the way I looked at movies ever since. So
I knew the like part of the weird suspense of the end of that movie, and I still was on the edge of my seat.
yeah,
So like it does such a good job.
what's in the box?
What's in the box? It's so good.
Yeah,
It's her head. It's her head.
it's her
I don't
head
know
in the
why
box.
anyone
Yeah, it's
thinks
Gwyneth
it's
Paltrow's
something
head.
different.
All right.
Yeah. So that's 210. You got anything else you want to say about this movie that you haven't already? I
No.
think it's great. I agree with you. The rating, subjective, objective.
Oh, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 on IMDb. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 in the episode. So
Yeah.
it's a really great movie.
Okay. Do we just want to get into my number 9?
Yep.
My number 9. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Such a good pick. Such a good
Thank you.
pick.
Why, thank
I
you.
almost put that on my list and I was like,
From 1999. 99. Wow,
9
we
to
can tell
8.
we've been talking for a while. From night. Anyways, it's this surreal. If you haven't seen it, it's this movie based on a book by Hunter S. Thompson of the same title. It's very surreal and at times and at other times very grounded and spooky and suspenseful, if you will. It's a 90s classic. The Gonzo vibe of this film had like a big influence on me as a teen, and a relatively large influence on me as a teen who like never did drugs and went to a private Christian college prep school as much as that could. But
Living vicariously, eh?
yeah, it's just it's shot so well. The characters are great. Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro are incredible. I don't know. Thompson's writing comes to life so well in that movie. Uh, and like the dialogue, which is like lifted so much from just the book, is just so punchy and so great. And I think that type of tone and that writing like still influences the way I write some things is and like things like for school, like not just like for fun writing, like literally like kind of day to day writing will be more in the way I talk and will be more like staccato and blunt because of Hunter S. Thompson and through that movie. Terry Gilliam, I think, does a great job as a director, like bringing that to life. There's like great practical effects. There's great use of it's it's kind of like so you want to stylize a movie. Here's how you do it really well, in my mind.
Yeah, everything's like 14 millimeter lenses, super wide angle. The camera never really stops moving. I don't think there's a single, there may only be a handful of shots on sticks.
Yeah.
Everything else is like floating around on Steadicam. Literally
And
floating. Like the camera's like,
yeah,
whoa.
and it's like, what's going on? What is this? What's real? What's not? What's it's that perfect Gonzo
Hmm.
attitude. Like kind of and done in a movie, which is almost like we would think would not work, but it does. So that's what I gotta say. I think it's a 7.5, 8 out of 10
Hmm.
movie. It's kind of a hard watch. It's a draining watch. If there ever was one.
You feel it. It's long. I mean, it's, it's constant insanity.
Yeah.
So,
It's this is the catch 22 of this podcast. It's like it's a movie I wish I could recommend to more people than I can.
yeah,
Because
right.
it's so insane. It's I mean it
It's not in the best taste all the time, but man, is
yeah,
it funny.
man, it's
And
funny and like interesting
the
and
performances are just so good.
yeah, and like if you know anything, and I know very little about like Hunter S. Thompson,
Hmm.
it captures him so well.
Oh, for sure.
And so that's my number 9.
Yeah, good pick. Solid pick. I was so close to putting that on the list. Honorable mention for sure. Um, my next one is another trilogy. I know it's more than a trilogy, but I'm only counting it as a trilogy, and that is Pirates of the Caribbean as a franchise.
That's
Pirates
such
1,
a
2,
good
and
pick.
3. Yeah. Pirates 1, 2, and 3, not the other ones, but the original Gore Verbinski helmed Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. Those movies came out originally. The first one was, I think, 2003, and the next one was '06. And I think the next one was either '07 or '08. And that was another really massive, formative thing that I think it it influenced me. And when I took stock of things when I was making this list, it influenced me in ways that I didn't really realize because they were so ingrained, right? Like it wasn't as overt as like some of the more Halloween movies or some of the, some of these other things we've gone over on the list. Evil Dead is such a stylized thing, or even Fear and Loathing is such a stylized thing. Reservoir Dogs is very stylized. You can feel where that touches you
Yeah.
and like the marks it leaves. Whereas Pirates of the Caribbean is just well done. There's a lot less. That's not to say it doesn't have a style, but there's just a lot less that's overt and more that's just like, oh, this is just the way you craft a really excellent action scene. This is just the
Yeah.
way you make really cool, fun, big stuff. And like the set pieces in this thing are massive. And this was the second and truly, I think, last uh yeah, like I said with Lord of the Rings, they were some of the first and also the last great action adventure fantasy movies to come out in the millennium, and really ever, not just millennium, but like ever. Like it
Yeah.
was once we hit the millennium, we were at a place, and even slightly before, we were at a place with technology where we could show and do the things we'd always wanted to do that kind of held us back because now we have CG and now we have this, and we have massive budgets to do this stuff. And it was still at a time when the craft in Hollywood hadn't started to knuckle under to the next generation of more inferior storytellers
Yeah.
and lazy studio systems and everything else. And so this was back when people would still build an entire ship and then just film out on the ocean for months. And like you just don't do that anymore. And so of course everyone knows what it's about. I'm not going to get into what it's about or a synopsis, but just it's literally it was the last great action adventure fantasy series, and everything about those movies is iconic. The music is iconic, all the characters are iconic, all the lines are iconic, all the imagery is iconic, all the locations, all the names, all the costuming. Understand that until Pirates of the Caribbean showed up, what a pirate was like a red and white horizontal striped shirt and like a peg leg and an eye patch. And then pirates came around, they're like, no, no, these are like scurvied, dirty guys wearing like what used to be nice clothes and are now really ratty. And it's just layers, and they're more like
Yeah.
old rock stars. And it's just, I know I'm a little over my time here
You're good.
because
I
I've
didn't
been
even think
keeping
to
my
start
time.
it because I got so distracted by how good your pick was.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you
I
want
totally
to
agree.
say anything about
I
pirates?
I I've only seen the original trilogy, which is a funny thing. I've only seen the
All you
first
need to
three.
see.
Yeah, and I feel like that's all I've felt that way. I don't need to see anymore. And you make such a good point, and I was literally thinking about stuff like this. I think like today, which darn it, you're making me think of other movies that I almost should have included on this list. Maybe it will be an honorable mention because it obviously didn't make the cut. But like, there's directors like Spielberg
Hmm.
in his prime that are great that don't necessarily have like this noticeable style, but they can just there used to be a respect to like crafting a blockbuster. I mean, Spielberg, for example, literally pioneered with Jaws.
Yeah.
But like that used to take work like a lot. I mean, it still does, but there was a craft that even though you might not like go, oh, Spielberg, like lens flares or lights like this, or and like you can, and I think even Abrams earlier on in his career, even though he has like
well, he was just mimicking
style,
Spielberg.
yeah, I mean,
literally,
he
like
does things like that.
Spielberg style. I understand what you're getting at with your
Yeah.
example. Spielberg style is fairly iconic, but that said, people just making good quality stuff is what your point is.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. It's
And like, and you don't necessarily, an audience isn't going into a Steven Spielberg film and recognizing that style. I don't
no, they are. They absolutely are. There's Spielberg
I don't
face.
think so.
Oh, for
The
sure.
thing is, like, I don't think an audience is going into a Steven Spielberg film with the same expectations they have for like a film by like James Gunn.
I think they do. Spielberg's been around long enough, and his style is specific enough that I think a lot of people recognize it. That said, what he's doing is still basically just really good filmmaking. Like,
yeah,
there's definitely stylistic flourishes. He always does. There's the dolly shot towards somebody's reaction. That's Spielberg face. He shows you that before he shows you the thing that you're supposed to be in awe of. He does that all through Jurassic Park, all through Indiana Jones, does it constantly. Spielberg also is a big fan of what's referred to lovingly as the Spielberg oneer, which is where he, instead of doing like a big oneer where you follow people around and it calls attention to itself, he does little ones that are like a minute to a minute and a half, sometimes 2 minutes long, and you don't realize they're one unbroken shot because they're not calling attention to themselves. He's literally just covering everything in the master and just moving the camera around. Now, again, Zemeckis does that also, but Zemeckis is a little more stylized with it, and he kind of does his own thing. And sometimes there's some bleed over between Spielberg's style and Zemeckis' style. And what's interesting about that is they're both just effectively doing really good classic filmmaking, but they are using certain stylistic flourishes. But all that to say, you're correct in your general thesis, which is
yes,
people just aren't making blockbusters or movies in general with the same amount of care and craft. And it's incredible to see those things when they're done well. And Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Rings both have extended battle sequences. Like Helm's Deep is, I think, what, 20 minutes? 25 minutes?
like
or maybe 30? It's like a mini movie. And it took almost as long, well, it took as long to shoot as like a whole other movie. And it's all at night and it's in the rain. And similarly, what I honestly, and some people are going to probably come for me in the comments, but all two of our listeners, the Maelstrom sequence in the third Pirates of the Caribbean, I think actually rivals the Helm's Deep sequence, because in Helm's Deep, you have multiple storylines that are happening. You're following different characters, and there's one overarching storyline, which is the battle itself, and it's also in the rain and it's at night. They're very similar, but I think I forget which one is longer, if it's the Maelstrom sequence or the Helm's Deep sequence. Either way, regardless of length,
that's at the end of At World's End, right?
yes,
The third
yeah.
one.
Yeah, they're going down this whirlpool, and both ships are stuck together at the mast, and everyone's fighting. But I haven't, and I mean, look, I'm going to qualify this by saying I could be off in my math just so that people aren't like really upset. I don't really care if they're upset.
I'm going to be so upset.
Yeah, I don't particularly care though.
Off.
They can be upset. I think the Maelstrom sequence, it slightly edges out the Helm's Deep sequence, only because there's so much more going on and there's so much more to balance. And in my opinion, I enjoyed the entertainment value because both scenes are there to tell you a story, but what they're trying to accomplish is a different thing. They're both big set pieces, and they're both high stakes to the characters, and they're like a pivotal moment in the film, right? Third act. However, Lord of the Rings overall is trying to just be more serious because it's just a more serious franchise, whereas Pirates is a lot more fun, and I always gravitate toward more fun things. And all throughout the Maelstrom sequence, there are so many highs and lows of emotion, along with constant jokes that don't feel out of place, but they're like all these gags and little other moments. And you're literally following this many characters around. There's Elizabeth's story, Will's story, Will and Elizabeth's story, right? Then there's what Johnny Depp's trying to do with the heart, Johnny Depp and Will, Johnny Depp, Will, and Davy Jones and Johnny Depp. Then there's Pintel and Ragetti and what they're trying to do. There's the monkey, and they're trying to get him. There's Barbosa marrying Will and Elizabeth, and what he's trying to do. There's what Gibbs is trying to do. There's Bootstrap Bill and Will and Davy Jones and like
Yeah.
everyone's intertwined. And then there's those two like throwaway English military guys that are like supposed to guard the heart, and then they end up switching sides. And it's like, how many characters is that? There's like over a dozen
Isn't
characters.
that when like that awesome slow-mo thing with the one Dutch trading guy or East Indian trading guy happens?
Right after that, yeah.
Yeah.
Then right after they finish that sequence, then they both ships pull up alongside it and just blow it to pieces. And he like walks slow motion as the
Yeah.
stairs are getting blown out behind it. It's just, it's
I need to rewatch these movies.
Fantastic.
We've talked for like 10 minutes about Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think it's
well, we
worth
talked
it.
about pirates and like just blockbusters in general. But yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
I need to
I
rewatch
knew
those
we were
movies.
going to get off the rails at some point, but it's just as well that we did it here because it's the end of the episode. So
Yes.
if you made it that far, that's what we have to say. It's our last pick.
Okay, so my number 10 came to me today. I've been thinking about this for like a week. Serious,
Okay.
like a week and a half. And this one finally came to me today, and I stand by it. Are you ready?
All right. Yes.
My 10th favorite movie of all time is the 2009 film Princess and the Frog.
Didn't see that coming.
I didn't
right.
either, and it
This is
came
your
to me
Alvin and the
today.
Chipmunks. This is
And look, I love this movie since I was a kid. I probably saw it when I was in like first or second grade. Well, no, probably a little older, second or third grade, and it's just so good. Have you seen this movie?
I haven't.
Okay, it's kind of funny because
It's one of the few Disney films I haven't seen actually.
I've spent the last few months thinking so much about movies that I've seen and that I like and that you may have not seen, and this movie hasn't come to me yet, but it's here now.
Wow.
Is I don't know. I love this movie so much, and I love it now. Friend of the show, Mark Lloyd Price, and I have seen this movie together probably 3 or 4 times. Like
Wow.
we both love this movie. The setting of the movie is great. It's in New Orleans. There's voodoo magic. Dr. John sings the opening song, and that's all you need to know. How this movie has like influenced Andy at a deep level. I just think the music's great. The plot is what it is. Look, trying to pick a 10th favorite film was really hard,
Mhm.
but I stand by this. That like over the years, this movie stayed with me. And it's just so fun. It's so fun. It's a Disney princess film is quite unexpected on this list, I'll admit, but I think it stands up. The songs are great. The music's great. That's like what does it for me.
I'm actually blown away that this is. I would have never saw that one coming. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess
so
I'll
good.
really have to check this movie out and see what's up.
We'll do it for the
What all
show.
the hubbub is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
we need something for the show. So
Yeah. So we'll see. That'll be such a funny episode. Maybe
It
we'll
really
bring
will
in
be.
Mark.
oh, we
Yeah.
should. We
That's
absolutely
it's just a classic. The music's incredible. It's kind of like one of the last great Disney princess movies,
should. Wow.
and I stand by it.
Well, I've never seen it, so I got nothing to add. You still have like 40 seconds.
We're good. We're good. Well, I
Okay.
want to hear what yours are because we have to spend a little bit of time on our honorable mentions.
Right. Well, so my last one in my top 10, and it was really hard to figure out what would make it in the top 10 and what wouldn't. So the honorable mentions are all basically you can kind of just figure
Oh,
they're
you're-
like tied for the 10th place, if you will.
Yeah.
But this one also should come as no surprise, and it is Monster House from 2004 or 5,
I should have known. Yeah.
maybe 6. So yeah, Monster House, I'm not going to have a lot to say about it because it kind of runs alongside, if you notice a theme here, it's very similar to Super 8. It's very similar to Alvin and Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. And in fact, you can kind of chart a path of what I was watching and this type of movie from the time I was little to the time I was older. So like when I was real little, it was Alvin and Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. It kind of scratched that itch. And then like
Mhm.
when I was in middle school, it was Monster House because same kind of deal, right? Like you're in a neighborhood, there's weird crap happening, there's a monster, it's Halloween, right? Like
Yeah.
pretty simple. And then like when I was a high schooler, then here comes Super 8. And then, of course, in my 20s, there was The Burbs. And they're all kind of the same movie, right? You're in a
Hmm.
neighborhood, something's happened. And yeah, Monster House is possibly one of the most perfectly executed films um, in terms of displaying and maintaining a mood and representing a season. It's a CG animated film. The rendering doesn't particularly hold up these days, but it's still lit very well. It's shot very well, and it looks like Halloween. Like they
Yeah.
did something with the rendering and the lighting that just, even though it's stylized, it looks like October. It looks like that time of year. And I love the kind of retro style of everything. It looks like it might be the 80s or 90s. The cast is great. Steve Buscemi is the as old man Nevercracker, and um, the parents fantastic. What the heck is her name now? I can't even think of her name. Um, but she played the mom in everything. She was the mom in Home Alone, and she was the mom in Beetlejuice, and she Catherine O'Hara. And so all these great actors, John Heater in is Skull. Um, there's just it's great. It's fantastic in every way. It really captures childhood and nostalgia in a way that I didn't necessarily even know existed, or that I didn't experience, but that you can still relate to somehow, you know.
Hmm.
And great quotable moments, fantastic music. The score by Douglas Pipes is fantastic. I have MP3s of it, and I used to have it on CD. And I just watch it like every Halloween almost. It's a staple.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to add?
I mean, it's a classic. I think it's underrated at this point,
Very.
but it's like it's got such a great vibe to it. I think you're right. You're spot on.
It also, just wrapping it up here, it also apparently was originally meant to be live action. And the inside of the house was supposed to originally be like this very Cronenberg-esque like body horror, and the house itself was supposed to have like flesh walls. I
That's
kind of want to
wild.
see like an alternate universe version of
Yeah.
this movie, but I do love it as it exists. So that's my number 10.
And we did it.
We did it.
That's it. Do you want to get into honorable mentions really fast?
Yeah, let's just fly through those. We'll
Uh
just basically say the title and that we like them and then move on.
yeah. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. It's probably the most I've ever laughed watching a movie. You haven't seen it. It's okay. Lego Batman,
I
quite
should have known.
possibly the funniest, clean, like kid comedy movie ever.
One of them.
Period.
Yeah.
One of them for sure. The or one. Anyways, next, Young Frankenstein. Incredible film. Great
Mhm.
spoof, perfect spoof of Universal monster films. Uh, I'll move fast. Singing in the Rain. It's great. Nope. Jordan Peele's Nope.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's favorite all time, but it's darn good.
Mhm.
Murders in the Rue Morgue. Detour. These are movies Andy's loved throughout the years. Prisoners is an incredible film and was on the first draft of this top 10 list,
Mhm.
but isn't necessarily my favorite. Malignant.
Ah.
And
So bad it's
last
good.
but not least, um, Minerva Monster is like a serious pick because when like I can quote so much of that movie and it is so nostalgic for me because of like when and where I was when that movie came out. And I can quote
Wow.
so much of it.
You've actually got a Seth movie on the list. That's
I have
crazy.
a Seth movie on the list and it's
Amazing.
the least STM movie.
Wow. Well, it's the first SDM movie.
Yeah. It really
But
birthed this whole thing. And I just think yeah, it's like, it's really cool. It's really got a place in my heart. And if that's where categorization for this, then
Mhm.
it belongs there.
Dang. Well, my honorable mentions are Princess Bride. It's a great movie, classic, seen it a million times. Arsenic and Old Lace, another fantastic Halloween movie. Very well acted, well staged, great sets. Really gives you a sense of time passage. If you watch the grandfather clock in that movie, the entire movie feels completely different because you realize they actually kept the continuity of what time it should be at that moment. And they
Wow.
actually changed the lighting in the outdoor set to match that. So it gets dark when it should get dark. And I realized that on like my eighth watch, and it completely revitalized the movie for me. Lethal Weapon, the franchise, all four movies. I love the second and third movie the best. We'll get around to that franchise.
I don't know if I've
Um,
seen this.
You haven't, and you will. Shane Black, it's amazing. Um, Another Shane Black movie, Nice Guys, which you will see, and Die Hard, self-explanatory, best Christmas
That
movie
is a
ever.
really good movie.
White Noise, of course, for obvious reasons. The Pink Panther Strikes Again. I don't know if you've seen any of the Pink Panther
I
movies,
don't
Andy.
think I have.
Oh, wow. Okay, those are definitely going to be on the list. That's Peter Sellers at his finest. Very interesting 70s, 60s movie. And yeah, Fear and Loathing would be also honorable mention. So there we go, boys and girls.
We did it.
If this was TV shows, it'd be a whole other list.
Oh yeah.
I know that's a redundant and obvious thing to say, but
I'm
it
glad you
would
said
be.
it. Glad.
So,
Well, we did it. Whew.
we did it. It's late, and we are super. We're full of crackers, and we're all
Buttered
jacked
up.
up now. Yep.
And we're ready to record another episode. We're recording a third episode tonight
Yes, a third
we
secret
just
episode that I wasn't
try-
aware of.
that we try to just string sentences together till we fall asleep.
It's the
One of us
drunk-ish
pops.
episode.
Yeah.
Well, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, give us a like, give us a comment, do the thing you do. Go watch all the movies we talked about, shove it into your face, and then tell us how much you loved it or how much you hated it. And if you hate it, I don't care. And if you love it, I'll talk to you about it and love you forever. Kiss, kiss.
Yeah. XOXO.